Because I was away 2 Tuesdays in a row, Mike, who's normally on a Tuesday, is coming in after you
Okay.
with a 15-minute gap. So let me just bring up your window. This one. Aha. Okay. Now, is this where you're expecting to be? That's where I expect you to be. Does this seem familiar? V'yomer lo lach na re'ei et shalom echecha ve'et shalom hatzon v'hashiveni davar v'yishlachehu me'emek Chevron v'yavo shkema. Is that what you were expecting?
Been so long I don't really remember.
Okay, so I'm gonna catch you up with the context. It is Yaakov Avinu, Jacob our father, is speaking, and he's talking to Yosef, right? And he says to him, "V'yomer lo," says to him, "Lech na, go please," as in holech or lech lecha. So he doesn't quite bring himself to say lech lecha, which would be that Abrahamic phrase, you know, but he says lech na, go please, and of course saying please, that's Abrahamic. Abraham was the first person to say na, and he said it to Sarah, right? And he says, go please, rei et shalom echecha. What does it mean to rei the shalom of echecha?
See if your brothers are at peace, or see if you're well with your brothers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because shalom's an interesting word. It means peace, but it's not the root. So what's the root? What's the extra letter in the word shalom? If you had to... sorry?
Bond.
Absolutely. That's excellent extra letter spotting. You have the skills. Because you can't... Well, actually, you can add a shin on the beginning. That would be a prefix. It would be short for asher. And it would be asher lom, but that doesn't mean anything. Lamed you can't insert in the middle. Mem you could insert. So actually, all four are candidates for being extra letters. But you're right, the vav is the extra letter. So you can spot it even in a challenging circumstance. You can spot which is the extra letter. Well done. Oh, yeah. No, lamed couldn't be inserted after a root. So the lamed is the only thing that couldn't be an extra letter. So that must be part of the root. But that leaves you shalam, shin lamed mem. And that is the same word as mushalam, to pay up in a restaurant. What are you doing when you pay up in a restaurant? What are you doing to the proprietor of the restaurant? We have a phrase in English that is to make someone whole, right?
I was thinking, I thought the root meant complete, so I guess that would be the same idea.
Exactly right, exactly right. So basically, if you've eaten food and you haven't paid for it, you're kind of in debt. That you have something that they are now lacking. You took the food, but when you pay, you make restitution for that. It's not, there's no moral, but that's effectively what you've done. You've completed the transaction, and now you're both whole. You've had the food, he's had the money. All's good. So when you're asking about someone's peace, you're asking about their completeness. You're asking about their wholeness. Are you whole? Are you lacking anything you need? So it goes further than just peace. It's really talking about completeness, is exactly as you said. And also, the opposite of shalom is milchama. The opposite of peace is war. And that's necessarily not the natural state. Because when it's over, it's complete. We have peace when the war ends. So it's not the natural state. We're not supposed to be at war. This is a disruption to the equilibrium. Effectively, maybe someone has done something to make you incomplete, and you're gonna, redress the balance. Maybe, I don't know. But when we say "How are you" in Hebrew, when we greet someone, we say "Mashlomech" to a woman, or "Mashlomcha" to a man. We're saying, "How is your peace? How are you?" Effectively. My sister has friends who are Nigerian, and apparently one of the Nigerian phrases is to say, "How you body?" It's like saying like their concern is the health. You know, in Ireland they say Slán, and Slán is health. You know, so there are different cultures that are interested in different things. So here it's peace. Okay, so how's the peace of your brothers? Ve'et shalom hatzon. What does that mean?
And the peace of the flocks.
Absolutely. Are your lads okay? Are their sheep okay? Pretty straightforward. Goes on to say, and also this is something you should do, hashiveni devar. What does that mean? Let's break it in. Let's break it into its sections. What does the ani at the end mean?
I.
Yes, it's the same as ani. So the hay. What is the hay from the binyan doing? Which binyan is that hay? Which binyanim add a hay?
Hifel?
Yes, this one is a hifil. So it's to cause me something or cause something to me, right? What about shev? There's two things that shev or shuv can mean.
Oh, and return to me.
Yes, wonderful, exactly. Davar is word or thing. In this case, it's word. So return to me, word on, what's going on. Bring me the news. Fantastic. Vayishlachehu. What does that mean? Vayishlachehu. This isn't being said. This is happening. What does it mean? Shalach. What does shalach mean?
Send.
And who?
Them.
No. You remember the who means this, and he means that, and hem means that, and hen means that when they're all something. What does who mean?
He.
Right. So vayishlacheu means.
And he sent him.
Perfect. May emek Hebron.
From Amek.
Yeah, do you know what an amek is? Or an amek? It is a valley. So it's from the valley of Hebron, right? V'yavo Shachema.
And he came to Shechem.
Right, so he went from the valley of Hebron and came to Shechem, or towards Shechem, because it has an Elaine's hay on the end, which means heading in the direction of it. So it doesn't actually say he arrived specifically at the town of Shechem, because he's going to the fields, really. So he's not probably going into the town. Anyway, the town is possibly still a ghost town, we don't know. But it's interesting that he's going there after all that went on. Now, I want to point out something which may be me reading into it, but I think it's not. Do you remember that we have a Parsha Bo? When God says to Moshe, Bo ad Pharaoh. What was significant about saying Bo ad Pharaoh?
Come to Pharaoh, not go to Pharaoh.
Yes, and why is that really, really important in that story?
I've read it, but I can't. Like God's already there.
That's what it is. He's reassuring him. Listen, I could say lech ad Pharaoh, go to Pharaoh, but I'm saying, listen, I'm here with you right now where we're having this conversation, and I will be there. Because God's everywhere, right? So by saying, come to Pharaoh, he's saying, you will not be alone. Now, Yaakov doesn't say, come to Shechem. He says, go to Shechem. He says, lech. But, who's writing the Torah that says, come? He came to Shechem. What does that hint at us? who might also be already with in Shem.
Oh, Hashem is already
Yeah,
with. Yeah.
absolutely. And why is that really important to Joseph's story right now?
Well, because we know what's coming. He's going into Egypt, and he will not be going into Egypt alone. It's already planned. I'm already there. It's all
Absolutely.
taken.
Beautifully, beautifully said. At his lowest moment, when all of his brothers, it's not actually all of his brothers, but from his perspective, he thinks all of his brothers, maybe even his father, have betrayed him, stuck him in a well, sent him off with the Ishmaelites, sold him into slavery. At his lowest moment, God is with him. It's really important for us to know that, because I don't know whether Joseph knew or didn't know that God was with him. It doesn't matter. God is with him whether he knew about it or not. Doesn't change the price of eggs. And so we all experienced those times where we go, this is it, this is rock bottom. You're not alone. It's such a reassuring thing. You can come back from this. And not only that, anything, any horrific, terrifying, overwhelming thing, God can turn that around. We get upset over really minor things, like I'm really close to my bank account and I've got to go do a shop. This is really scary for us, but it's not being sold into slavery by your brothers. And not that, of course other people have gone through worse things, but that's pretty bad as far as they go. And to know that God can take that and turn it around for the good, and it turns out that that was the plan the whole time, and actually God not only turned it out to make him very successful and wealthy, but used it to save the whole family that would then go on to be, a great nation. So I saw that word then, I was like, that has got to be the same as how it was used before, because it's not the natural word. Whenever you spot a word, you go, that's not the word that one would naturally use. Try and say, what are we trying to see from it? What can we gain from it? Okay, so let's go forward. Can you read us just the top line for the second?
Vayimza Ehu, Ish, and Vahine.
Now how do you pronounce Hine?
Hine.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what does matzah, mem tzadi aleph, what does that mean?
And he found
Beautiful.
a
Who?
man.
Right. Now, who is this man?
Well, I have read that it's probably an angel, not
Okay.
just who randomly happened to be out in the field at just the right time Joseph was there.
Absolutely. Now, I'm not going to say that this is an angel. I don't know who this is. But it is unusual to just say an ish. And it's unusual never to find out who it is. It sometimes happens when it is an angel. And it might just be a farmer. But why might those two things not be mutually exclusive? Why could a farmer be an angel?
Yeah, angels have appeared as men.
Right. What does angel mean?
Messenger.
Interesting.
So it's a messenger.
Right. So who can't God use as a messenger?
Anybody.
So it doesn't change the price of eggs for us. For us, this could be gam an angel, gam a farmer. Who doesn't love a farmer? Farmers are great. I get my breakfast every day because farmers are awesome. So the Yimn say who, and he found him, Ish, a man. Vene.
Oh.
What does it say, to er besade?
Something in the field. He saw him in the field.
Yeah, but go a little bit deeper on the Toeh.
Oh, wondering. Go
Yeah.
astray.
Who's wandering in the field?
Yosef.
Right. Could it be anyone else?
Well, I guess it could be, but we know Joseph's out there looking for his brothers. So
So it could be that he found a man wandering in the field, or it could be that a man found him wandering in the field.
Oh, okay.
So it might be that Joseph's wandering in the field because, that we're getting this image of him as being a bit of a dunce, right? He says the wrong things to his brothers, gets himself in trouble. Now he's wandering a field. He's got this long coat, so he's not working hard. He's not rolling up his sleeves and working hard in the field. So we get this general negative impression of Joseph, but it could possibly be that this is not a farmer in the field and it is an angel, and he has no business being there other than to wander around waiting for Joseph to come so he can give him a message, right, to help him out. We don't know. Because there's a word coming up very soon, very important word, merachok, which means from a distance. And in the story of the binding of Isaac, the Torah uses that word to say he saw the sacrifice, or the mountain on which he was going to make the sacrifice, from a distance. And the sages say that from a distance means he didn't see it up close clearly like he understood it. He saw it from way off like he didn't understand it. And they say this is God hinted in the Torah that he misled Abraham. It was never God's purpose to sacrifice Isaac. How do we know? Because that's not what happened. God stopped him. He sent an angel to stop him. So he never wanted Isaac dead, right? But he did need us to know that if he had wanted Isaac dead, Abraham would have participated. Why is that important to know? Because we need to know that the reason Isaac wasn't killed wasn't because Abraham wasn't willing. He was willing. It was because God didn't want it. And this binding of Isaac is our way of understanding that human sacrifice is an abomination. It's disgusting to God. Even if our greatest sage was willing to do it, God still would stop it from happening. Right? Now
Isaac was willing to do it.
Isaac was willing. Abraham was willing. Everyone was on board, except God. Don't ever think that this is something God wants. No man shall die for the sins of another. Any man should die for his own sins. A father shall not die for the son, nor shall the son die for the father. Pretty bulletproof. So when someone comes along later and tries to suggest, oh, maybe we should have some human sacrifice, maybe we shouldn't. It's pretty bulletproof, right? Now we're going to have that word again, but we're going to have it about the boys misunderstanding Joseph. And this is really important. Because again, God has concocted this scenario where Joseph is going to go into danger and then come out of it on the other end. The plan was never, we want Joseph to be a slave. No, we want Joseph to be in a position to save everybody, which happens by him going and becoming a slave. But the hint of that word, merachok, being in both stories, shows us that God can even use ignorance to do wonderful things. He can even use us not understanding. If we understand God, we can do wonderful things. Even if we don't understand God, God can use us to do wonderful things. So let's follow that through. So he finds a man, behold, wandering in the field. Either the man is wandering in the field or Joseph finds him wandering in the field. Vayishalehu. What does a yishalehu mean? You had vayimtsaehu, now you have vayishalehu. So the grammar is the same, the construction is the same, but sha'al, what's sha'al?
Oh, and he asked the man.
Right. So either he asked him, the man, or the man asked him. He either asked the man or the man asked him, because we don't know who found who, and we don't know who asked who. But let's find out from what it says. Ha'ish. Lemor, to say, ma tavakesh. Ma tavakesh.
And he said, what? And Miss Marple's clue is obscured.
Ah.
Oh, who do you seek? What do you seek?
Right. Seek, require, desire, exact, request. So we need to find out the answer to know who's asking. V'yomer et achi anoki mavachesh. What does that mean? V'yomer et achi anoki mavachesh.
And he said to... Brother?
Yeah, but what's the word for brothers?
Ah,
That's brother. What's brothers?
Achim?
Right. What's achi? If achim is brothers, what's achi? Or achai?
Um,
My brother. Ach is brother singular. Achim is brothers plural. Achai is my brother. The yod being the possessive, first person masculine possessive.
my brother. Okay. And you
So,
said,
so he didn't say, 10 of my brothers do I seek, or I seek a bunch of brothers. He says, my brother Anochi Mavakesh, my brother I seek. I wonder which brother he sought. Because they're not all nice to him, are they?
oh, I hadn't thought about that. Which brother would he be seeking?
Yeah. And that idea, we've got to keep on eye on that idea of numbers of brothers being involved, not being involved in various different scenarios. Okay, we've got to keep an eye out for that because it can be misleading which one's happening, and it can be revelatory to figure out which one's happening. Okay, so he says, "I'm looking for my brother." Hagida na li efohem ra'im. What does Hagida mean?
To tell.
Yes, just like the Haggadah in Pesach, to tell, na,
Please.
he's
to
being
me,
polite to the stranger, just like Abraham would be. Li,
To me.
absolutely, tell please to me, a for hem. Do you know the who, what, where, why, when questions?
Well, I know me is who.
Yeah? What else do you know? What's ma? I mean, what's ma? What is ma? What's ma?
What?
Good. There's a clue in there. So, who's me? What's ha? What's ma? Eich. How do we figure out what eich is?
No.
How do we figure out what eich is? We figure out that eich is how. That's how we figure out what eich is. Matai?
So confused.
Matai?
What?
No, matai. What is ma? But matai.
Time?
Yeah,
What time?
when? When?
Oh, when?
And A4. Where's A4 in here?
It's still to me.
Where's A4 on the page? Sandy,
What? What?
where is A4 on the page?
Oh, where?
Okay, so A4 hem.
Where they
Yeah.
are shepherding. Where are they shepherding?
Wonderful, wonderful, fantastic. Where are they shepherding? Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Fantastic. V'yom ha'ish nasu mizeh. They journeyed. Nasa. Why is it not to lift up? Nasu. Why is that not nasa, to lift up? This is a homophone. This is a phone that falls in love with other phones.
I think it's spelled differently, but right now I can't think how the lift up.
You are absolutely right. So the nun is the same because the nun is the only letter that can make a n sound. Samek, when you see samech and ayin, that's to do with journeying. When you say sin and aleph, that's to do with nasa. That's to do with lifting up things and putting them in the sky. So nasu is the plural. So he's saying, V'yom ha'ish, the man said, Nasu, they journeyed, Mizer, from this, Ki Shemati Omrim. What does it mean, Shemati Omrim? Shemati Omrim.
I heard.
Yes.
I heard
Omrim?
him say.
Yes. Neilcha. Neilcha. Yes?
Going.
Yes. As in lecha or holech. Lech lecha holech, right? So nelech is we will go dotana.
Toward Dotana.
Towards Dotan. Absolutely. Because the hay is not part of the place name. It's part of the, it means towards. So exactly right. Towards Dotan. Vayelech Yosef aha achiv.
Okay. And he went, and Joseph went after them, or his brothers.
Perfect. Nice correction. Really, really good. Okay. Vayimtseim Budotan.
And he found them in Dotan.
Perfect. Va, past tense. Yod, he. Matzah, found. Aim, them. Ba, in Dotan. Perfect. Exactly right. Did it beautifully. And then we see how the Dotana has got a hay, because that's an Elaine's hay towards Dotan. But when you say in Dotan, it doesn't have the hay, because it's actually in the place.
There.
Wonderful. Really, really nice. Okay, now. Yes, this is the one. This is the This is the connection between this incident, this instant of incidents, and the instant of the incident of the Akeda. Really, really important. So, Vayiru oto merachok. What does it mean?
And they saw him from far, from a distance.
Right. So this is the moment we see what is it that they're misunderstanding about him. What comes up from this distance where we go, oh, this isn't what we thought it was. Okay. So, uvaterem. Now you know this word from Adonolam. Adonolam Hashem alak baterim kol yitzin ivra. What does baterim mean in baterim kol yitzin ivra? The last time we talked about terim, long time ago, the first time we talked about terim was in Gan Eden. We talked about baterim yitzmak kol desha esav. This was in the before the sprouting of all the sprouting grasses. So terem means before, and baterem means in the before. So, and in the before, in the time before this happened, yikarav. What does karav mean? Kruvim. Not chruvim, but kruvim. What does the kiruv movement do? Kiruv.
I don't know.
It's to draw close. Right? So the kiruv movement is primarily concerned. It's a Jewish movement to bring Jews back to Judaism. So those Jews who have never really had an in to their inherited faith, or those who have been brought away to other religions, the kiruv movement is about bringing them back into the fold, right? But this is about something he will do, yikarav. So it's before he will what? Karav alehem.
Before he comes close, before he draws near.
Alehem?
To them.
Perfect. So before he grew close to them, vayitnachlu oto. What's nachal?
To be deceitful, crafty.
Ah, but wait for another one of Torah's mind blowers. Yes, you are right. Nachal is to be deceitful, crafty, or knavish. But what is this Taf doing here? Dun dun dun! It's not vayinachlu, it's vayitnachlu. What's the Taf? Which of the binyanim adds in a Taf? I'll give you some choices. We've got 7 binyanim. We have Pa'al, Pi'el, Hifil, Hitpa'el, Hufal, Pual, and Nafa, and Nifal. Which one adds a Taf in there?
Hitpa'el.
Yes. And who is doing what to whom in a Hitpa'el?
The subject is doing it to itself.
Mespa. So the boys.
They are being deceitful.
To whom?
Oh, they have deceived themselves.
Wow.
To Joseph.
Isn't that a mind blower?
Oh.
You don't get that from the English. That's actually an impossible sentence. Because the meaning in the translation you'll get is they decided to deceive him. Oto, that's the passive. But if you consider the Hitpa'el, they deceived themselves to him. How have they deceived themselves to him? What have they done to themselves to him?
They have convinced themselves that he is the pursuer, that he is going to destroy the family, so to speak.
Absolutely. They've convinced themselves of his bad character. They've convinced themselves that he's a problem, that he's evil, that these dreams he's doing is arrogance. Now, tell you what, if I set you the homework to have an arrogant dream, how well would you do? Imagine if I told you to have an arrogant dream that somehow benefited me in a way that I could not understand. It's mad complicated, self-defeating. It doesn't work, does it? Right. But they don't know it's from their benefit because they're not understanding. Meirachok. Before he arrives, they decide to deceive him, but really what they're really doing is deceiving themselves. Now, just to add another layer of complexity, had they not have deceived themselves and therefore betrayed him, resulting in him being down in Egypt, would they have benefited from the dreams he dreamed?
Not that way, but if it was the plan all along to get Joseph into Egypt, it would have happened another way, and they still would have benefited.
Okay, I highly value and respect your brilliant answer. Yeah, that's right. I mean, there would have been another way to do it. But this was one of those kind of fixed points, as Doctor Who says in the wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey thing, right? So, you're right, we'd have to get to this point in order for God's will to happen, but the way it happened by them deceiving themselves about him. And it goes on further to say, Lahamito. What kind of binyan is this Hamito? Which binyan is this Hamito?
Hifel?
Hifil, which is? What kind of binyan is it? What does it do?
Positive?
Yes. And what are they causing? Met. Oh.
Oh, death?
Yes. And whose death? It finishes with a vowel.
Joseph's, his death.
Yes. So they deceived themselves on him to cause his death. Wow. Now, if ever there was a misunderstanding, we have this holy tzaddik, their brother, their beloved brother. They've fallen out previously because they didn't understand his dream. Now they're plotting to kill him over a misunderstanding. Because if they knew, listen, this isn't just his arrogance, this is really a dream from God, there's no way that they would hate him so much that they would plan to kill him. So it's all twisted, it's all tangled, but eventually it'll be brought out flat and the image will appear in the tapestry. Okay. V'yomru ish el achiv. What does it mean?
And they said,
Beautiful. They said,
this man is our brother.
no. That's very good thinking. But this is an idiom. Sorry?
Well, Ish is man.
Yeah?
El is two.
Yes.
Achiv, his brother.
So a man to his brother. They all said a man to his brother, which is an idiom which means what?
They were talking amongst themselves.
Right. So ish means man, and idiomatically it can mean each man. So each man says to his brother, each one says to another one, Hine,
Behold.
behold, Baal ha-cholamot halazeh ba. What is a Baal?
Baal is a master.
Master. And what is he a master of? Ha-cholamot.
Dreams. His dreams.
This master of dreams, this Baal of Cholamot. Right. Now, what tone are we imagining when we read that that's what they said?
Sarcastic.
Right. This is a real kind of, ooh, the master. Here comes the master of dreams. Ooh, I'm magic. Right. It's like really sarcastic, bitter. Halazeh ba. So halazeh is the to this. I mean, it's just, again, needlessly complicated and twisted. So this master of dreams, what's he doing?
He's coming.
Right.
He's coming.
So we haven't even got to their plan yet. They're just all what we know is he's walking. He's far enough away that they can't see him clearly. They know who it is though. They recognise the walk. They recognise the coat. Oh, here he is. Here comes, boss of dreams. And they've got enough time to be sarcastic. And then we have this sentence here, which you're going to help me to colour in. So what's the first word?
Ata.
Yeah.
And okay, I get so confused on these talks.
So
And now,
good. You didn't fall into my bear trap. So a ta with an aleph is you, and a ta with an ayin is now. So now, leku. What's the root verb of this? Yes. Right.
Now, go.
Yes. Now, what does the oo do on the end? Don't fall into my bear trap. What does the oo do?
I'm going to say makes it plural.
That is exactly the right answer, and I'll tell you for why. When we first started introducing this idea, the first few times that oo happened to be used in a word which meant them. And everyone kept on saying, oh, it means them. They will go. But that's not what it means. It pluralizes whoever's doing the verb. So that's really important for when it's not them. And this time it says, and now someone plural is going to go. Who are they suggesting? Well, each is speaking, each man to his brother, right? So they're kind of saying, we'll go. And now y'all will go. So it's not they're saying to themselves, we'll all go, right? What's this word here? And this construction, this particular construction, you've already seen at least twice today. So you'll recognize what's happening here. So before you get into the whole word, what can you spot is a part, or this part, or that part? You don't have to do it all in one go. You can break it down into little bite-sized pieces and chew it up. Sorry, Sandy, just bear with me 1 sec. I'll leave you doing that. I've just got a question. Hello, sorry. How did you get on? What parts do you see?
Well, I think I see kill or murder in there.
Yes, that is the root. Harag is the root. Perfect.
And the vav makes it future, and the nun makes it we will kill.
Have a think about that. If you said the vav makes it future and the nun makes it what?
We.
Yeah.
Plural.
Yeah. We
We
will.
kill.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does the vav do?
It flips it to the future.
Is it a flipper? The nun makes it we will do. So this is a future tense verb.
Just an and.
It's just an and. Perfect. What vowel would you expect to see on the vav if this was a tense flipper?
Patak.
Right. So this one doesn't need a patach. It's just an and. Whereas if there was a patach and it was a tense flipper, what would we flip it to?
I'm sorry, what? If it was what?
If it did have a patach on it, and therefore was a tense flipper, what would we have just flipped it to?
The past. They would have killed him.
Right. We don't want that. Right. We need a twist in the story. Okay. So harag, absolutely. We're leaving that black. That's the root. And then what's the end bit?
We will kill. Well, it's plural because we're talking about all the brothers. They're all.
No, that's not what's happening. What's the last two words?
Him. We will kill him.
Yes, beautiful. Now that's a very reasonable thing that you thought there, because the u looks like a final u vowel, like and lechu, but when it's who, then it's a different construction. So you've got to watch out for that. Beautiful, very very good. So and now, y'all let's go, and we will kill him. And then what's the next word? What can you see in there?
Sleek. Shlach.
Yeah, good. That's the root, is shlach.
The nun is we.
Right. Which tense?
Future.
Yes. So the vav is
An and.
good. Does it have the vowel you'd expect it to have?
No.
You think it should have a different vowel?
No.
So it's got the vowel you expect it to have to be an and.
Yes, but now
Great.
I'm not so sure.
No, you're right. You're right. It's just I think I said my question in a garbled way that was misleading. So and then what else can you see there?
Who?
Beautiful. Which means
And we will send him.
yes, we will send him. Fantastic. Next word.
Achad. Achad, one.
Yeah. What
With
is
one.
or?
With one?
Sorry.
With one.
or
Ba, with, ba,
could be with one
in,
or
with, in or with.
in one. Beautiful. This next word, you don't know all of it, but you can work out the common parts. There's a bit that you might know, but you don't necessarily know. But what can you work out from this word? And I'll tell you the whole meaning at the end if you don't have it.
Habarot.
Yes.
Is the bor the
Yeah.
root, and it's missing a letter? We've lost a letter.
Yes. So what's the ha doing? What's the ha? What does ha mean as a prefix? You know this one.
The
Yeah, absolutely. This is a the. So one of the borot. What's the ot? What is
yeah.
ot? It's a particular kind of construction. You can have im or you can have ot. So this is the feminine plural. You understand?
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking like, and like the ending of a note for daughters.
Ah, yes. But the reason the ending of daughters is ot is because that's the feminine plural. So anything that's feminine and plural would have an ot ending. It wouldn't necessarily. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So what's a bore? A bore is like a borehole. It's a well or a pit or a hole. So it says va'ata lechu v'nahargehu. So we now will go and kill him, v'nashlichehu, and send him be'echad into one haborot, into one of the
Yes.
wells. Does it make sense?
Oh, one of the wells. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the. Now, we don't really get ofs in Hebrew that much. You can do an of with a yod and a tsere, or with a petach and a taf for an at ending, but we don't always have it. We very often don't have the of bit, just like we don't have the word to be very often. So
So is the root there bor? Is that the air, like the air Sheva, wells of Sheva?
exactly right. That's exactly what it is, and they're feminine. So the plurals, they are somewhere where there are a lot of wells or a lot of pits. It's not really clear which. And actually, that word is going to become really important because later in his story, which you already know pretty well, he's going to be referred to being put in another place, which is referred to as a bore. Right? What's that place going to be?
Prison, the dungeon.
Exactly. And they're going to, by using this word again, it's going to draw a connection to the idea that he keeps on being thrown in wells, he keeps on being thrown in pits and cast down again and again and again for crimes that he did not commit. So, what does it say, va'amarnu?
We will say.
Yes. Yesity, yesness. And in a clever way, the bit that tells us we, which part of the word says we? Right, the nu is the we part. The anu, inu, enu, all the nus say we. So that's at the end of the word. So when the part of the word that tells you who's doing it is at the end, which tense of word is that?
When it's past.
Yes. So amarnu would mean we said. Now we know it can't be that because they're talking about what's going to happen. So this must be a what?
That must be a tense flipper.
Good. And when you flip from the future to the past, the vav has got to have a petach. When you flip from the past to the future, what does it have to have? Yeah, absolutely. The sideways binoculars. Exactly right. So we've seen a future, staying future with no tense flipper, and now we've seen a past with a tense flipper. Go on, sorry, what were you
Okay,
going to say?
yes. Okay, the line above, we've got the vav that we said is not a flipper, it's just and,
Yeah.
but it's got a schwa. So
Yes.
is it the context that
It's
tells
the
me
it's a
which?
context. So a future to the past needs a patach. Anything else is an and. A past to the future needs a schwa. Anything else is an and. It would be easier if the tense flipper always had the same vowel, and we're like, whenever it's a vowel, it has this. But actually, what we have is whenever we have a future to past, we have a petach. Whenever we have a past to the future, we have a schwa. And that's why we've eased up to this over a long period of time. We've got the hang of the past to the future before we even started discussing we got the hang of the future to the past before we even started discussing past to futures. Just because I knew it was going to upset everybody, so we had to kind of piecemeal it out. Because otherwise, if you're expected to, this is why whenever we talk about dageshin, the schwa, the tense flipper has only got a twofold clause, and it drives us potty. But the dagesh has got a sixfold clause. If it's this, unless it's this, unless it's this, it does this, and then if it's this, it we need to tread carefully with that one, because no one can learn a sixfold rule in one sitting. It's just bananas. I can't even figure out how to say it. So we'll come back to the dagesh. So, and we will say this next two words go together. So can you say them as if they're one thing? It's a two-worded description.
Haya ra'a.
Yeah, what is that?
Haya would be living.
Yes. And
Living ra'a.
what's ra'ah with an I in it? What does ra'ah with an I in mean? Sorry?
Just knowing the story, I would think be a living thing, a living creature, a
Good, good. And what is ra'ah? What's ra'ah with an I in? I think you're overdoing it. For a moment, I don't mean that in any connector. I mean, I think you're turning all the cogs at once and they're clashing. So just for this moment, translate me ra with an ayin. What's ra with an ayin? Not ra with an aleph, which is to see, but ra with an ayin, which is
evil.
yes, beautiful.
Oh,
Now
a
imagine,
living.
yeah, but imagine that this is the adjective and this is the noun. So this is the thing, and this is what's describing the thing. It's not a living evil. That would make this the noun and this the adjective. Swap it around. This is the adjective.
An evil thing, an evil living.
Yeah, an evil life, right? So nowadays in Yiddish, you would hear someone say a wilde chaya, like a wild beast. Chaya, a life, is a living creature already on its own. Just a chay is a life. It's a living creature. But a ra is like a balagan. It's like a rasha. It's a problem. A problem animal. It's not. He didn't get killed by a stray cow. They're implying that some sort of wild beast, a chaya ra. Does that work okay?
A predator.
Yeah, absolutely. Which if you're used to working with donkeys and sheep. Anything with sharp, pointy teeth that runs out of the wilderness and tries to eat you, that's an evil life. That we don't like those. They're the bad ones, right? So it doesn't tell us what it did yet. It said chaya ra'ah achalatu.
Okay, I see your favorite word in there.
Very good. What is it?
Akla. Akla.
Yeah, achal.
Call.
And if I'm doing it, I can say ani ochel hasandwich hazeh. And if I was talking about my wife, I could say Rivcha ochelet a sandwich hazeh. So if you notice Chaya ends in hey, Ra'a ends in hey, and Achelet, they're imagining that this this evil creature is a woman, or she's a man-eater. No, it's a feminine concept they're talking about here. They're talking about a wild beast, and it happens to be female. So
it ate him.
It ate him. Beautiful. So the who is he, and he is she, and hem is them, and hen is them when they're all female. So we're back to this who being him. So we're going to kill him, and we're going to send him, and we're going to say the animal ate him instead of us knowing the truth. So not only are we going to murder, we're going to lie about the murder. Fratricide, lying to dad, all the bad stuff. What's the next word?
A. The near A.
Yes. Now this is really, you've already done this construction. You can do it with this one as well, no problem at all. I'll give you a clue. This is going to be about sarcasm again.
And we will see.
Yes, very good, very good. So the nun here is an and, doesn't have the requirements to make it a tense flipper. The vav is an and, doesn't have the requirements to be a tense flipper. The nun is a we will do. Ra'eh is to see. So venira, and we will see. Ma.
What?
Good. Ma is what? What is ma? Ma is what? Beautiful. You
will be.
Right. And notice that this will be has an u vav at the end. It has a yard at the beginning to say it's future tense. Yehi means will be. You means we're going to be dealing with something plural. So what will be? What's this word? Can you read it out loud?
Halomatav.
Ah, Chalomatav. What parts can you see?
Cholam.
Yes.
Dream.
Cholam is dream. Cholomot.
And Tav, his dream.
Wait. Cholomot. What's the ot part?
Oh.
What does ot mean?
His.
Remember Haborot? You could have Cholomi.
His dreams.
Beautiful. The ot is the feminine plural. So dreams are feminine. And Cholomot is dreams plural, feminine plural. And Cholomotav is his dreams. Perfect. Exactly, beautifully done. So if when, say in Italian, dolce sogno, which is like a sweet dream, sweet sleep. But in Hebrew, you say Cholomot paz, dreams like gold, like dreams like the value of gold. Cholomot paz. Beautiful. You did the absolute blinder with this. Well done, well done, well done. Now, just to review very quickly this last bit from Merachuk. The Yiru Oto, and they saw him, Merachuk, from a distance, or that they didn't understand him. But Terim, before Yikrav, he came close, Aleihem, to them. V'yit nachlu, and they decided to deceive. They tried to deceive him, but instead they deceived themselves. Oto, deceived themselves, him. Laha mito, to cause his death. Now notice how they didn't quite go so far as to say to kill him. They're going to cause his death as if to do it indirectly. The Yomaru, and they said, Ish elachiv, a man to his brother. Ine, behold, Baal hacholomot halazebo, the master of dreams, that this is coming. Vata neilchu, and now we will go, v'nahar gehu, and murder him. V'nashlichehu, and send him be'echad haborot, into one of the wells. V'amarnu, and we will say, because it's been flipped into the future, chaya ra'ah, a wild beast. Achalat hu, she ate him. V'nira ma'iyu cholomotav, and we will see what will become of his dreams. Oh, master of dreams, let's see what your dreams do now. How are you going to dream when you're going to be eaten by a wild beast? So they're really like layering on thick the sarcasm and the dramatic irony. And so we will see. We'll see next week at the same time next week. Well done. You should be really, really pleased with yourself. I'll put this video in your Drive folder along with the slides. The slides will take me a minute because I've got another lesson immediately after you, so I'll have to fiddle with the slides and put them in there. But yeah, you're for same time next week?
Yes, I'll be here.
Fantastic. You should be greatly blessed with wisdom and learning and happiness, good jokes, nice biscuits, closeness to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and may there be great wealth and success and health and peace on all your family and all your friends. And may everybody recognize the blessings that Hashem brings to them through you as you go through your week. Speak soon.